But all of a sudden, like a movie screen coming across, all of a sudden was, I call it my dead people parade. I wasn't sleeping, not crazy, and I was just the movie playing. So it started with a grandfather, uncles, my dad, and they again would just walk past, and I could just feel that absolute love. And I was also thinking, like, this is so interesting. This dead people parade is not for you to join. And she said, so you can get back in your little body. And here's the thing she said.
Rare Medium with Deb Snyder, celebrating life's rarities, the people, places, and experiences that just might be a little bit weird. This podcast explores all facets of our energetic connections to each other and beyond. We'll dive into the depths of mediumship, psychic ability, intuition, near-death experiences, afterlife research, healing modalities, and more. Our focus is to bring you relevant and moving accounts with guests who share their authentic selves and their treks into the spiritual and energetic realms. We'll learn how those experiences shifted their perspective on life itself. Join us to be inspired by everyday people on their extraordinary journeys into the rare medium of the mystical world. Topics discussed on Rare Medium by the host and guests are presented for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional, legal, or medical advice. Hello and welcome to Rare Medium with Deb Snyder. I'm Deb, your host, and today I am absolutely thrilled to have my friend Kelley Simpson in the studio with me. I am able to do that because Kelley doesn't live too far away from me. We both live in the beautiful state of Maine and have for a long time, and our paths have crossed off and on. How many years? 20 something years, probably since whenever I moved to this beautiful town of Bridgeton. I have Kelley on today to talk about some of her wonderful adventures. Kelley, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, sure. Thanks for having me, Deb.
Yes.
So my name is Kelley, and I'm a creative entrepreneur of sorts. If you have run into me, for the last 30 years, I have helped people in the field of health and wellness, yoga, teaching meditation. I pretty much love to just share what I'm doing. That's where the trajectory takes me for a certain time. So it's been yoga, meditation, bodywork, massage, all the things. What people don't know about me, mostly until today, right now, is that for the last 30 years, I've also been having experiences with dead people.
There you go. And that is why Kelley's on with us today. She's going to talk about her near-death experiences and also how that opened a portal in communication with those in spirit. When we met all those years ago, it was before my first book came out. It was before I was doing any of that. And I think that we were both teaching energy work in our own ways.
Yes.
And that's how, we have quite a few mutual friends. You know how when you meet somebody and they say, do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? And then you finally get to meet and you're like, that's why they said that. We're supposed to know each other. We haven't gotten a chance to spend too much time together in the past number of years, but we're so glad to be connected now. And when I decided to launch this project, Kelley was the first one of the first people to say, please, let's do it. Let's have fun. So I know it's always fun when Kelley's with us. We're going to talk about your death experiences. We also have some other fun things that she's doing that we'll catch up on later too. Tell us the first time what happened.
Okay, so the first time was during COVID. I had COVID really badly, and so, had seizures and passed out and super high fever. And luckily, they sent me home from the hospital without treating me. Sorry for another day. But I say luckily because it brought me here. So through that process, which was about 6 weeks, there was a night that I was in my bed And did not have a high fever. I was not delirious. And I no longer actually felt like I was going to die because I was that sick, for 6 weeks. And, but at this particular night, I was kind of like, okay, I don't think I'm going to die anymore. But what happened was I was not sleeping and not awake, and again, not delirious with medication or fever. But all of a sudden, like a movie screen coming across, all of a sudden was, I call it my dead people parade. So every single dead person that I had known was lined up and in kind of like a parade version. And like a movie, they just started walking past me. They were lined up from eldest to youngest, and they all just started to walk past me. They all said the same thing. They all walked by and they said, with such love and such adoration, they just said, she was such a precious baby. And I was
Interesting.
like, what? And I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And so again, I wasn't sleeping, not crazy, and I was just the movie playing. It started with grandfather, uncles, my dad, and they again would just walk past, and I could just feel that absolute love. And I was also thinking, like, this is so interesting. And then so it goes on. And then one of my friends who is my age, her name was Liza. She was the first person to like break she was such a precious baby. And she said, and I could hear her laughing in her very earthly laugh. And she said, this dead people parade is not for you to join. And she said, so you can get back in your little body. And here's the thing she said. I always wore this beanie, and it said cowgirl shit. Can we say that?
You can say
okay.
that.
So the beanie said cowgirl shit on it. And I just always wear this beanie. And she said, you can get back in your little body because you have earth girl shit to do. And she started cracking up and just continued on. And then it went on and on. But that was the gist of the whole thing. All of the dead people I had ever known, love, 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 adoration, baby. I'm still, they must have seen me as that energy.
Right. Well, especially if that was your relationship. You mentioned your grandfather, your father, they knew you your whole life.
Right.
These were all people that you knew.
Yes.
In your life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No one else. You're like, well, who's that one?
Nope. They were all my dead friends.
And everyone you could recognize and identify. And
yes.
I could imagine that must make you think like, oh, am I going to die? Am I crossing over and they've come to get me?
Yes, that was exactly what I thought. And so it was that clear message from Liza that was like, no.
Thank you, Liza.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Get back in your body. So there was that, kind of, I was out there of like, oh, am I coming along? Like, where are we going? Follow the parade. There's a parade. I want to be in it. But, there was that, go back. It's not for you to join.
That is so interesting. I think that's fascinating. I love how spirit and energy moves through us. And it was comforting and disconcerting at the same time.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. And once she gave you a little bit of peace of it, how did you approach it then? Was it just curiosity as it finished up? How did it finish up?
Absolutely. And it really just finished off with, I just stuck around to see who else was there.
Right.
And then it was like, it gave me that reassurance of like, okay, I'm not going to die from this COVID thing. Like, it's not my time. And, you said disconcerting and, reassuring, and that I did feel like if it was my time to go, then I was in good company.
Right.
That it wasn't scary. It was just like, oh, these are all my people, and they've come to take me away.
I actually find it very, very comforting that I have a solid belief in the afterlife because I don't fear death.
Right.
I really don't. I mean, it would be a bummer and it would be unfortunate for my family and loved ones. I myself have been treating for cancer the past couple of years. So I had to face some of those issues. But I was talking to my doctor, my primary care physician, and he's a very sweet man, has his own spiritual beliefs, unlike mine, but his own solid beliefs. And I said that to him because he's like, how are you doing with all this? How's your husband doing with all this? And I told him, I said, my husband is petrified because he wants to go first because he doesn't want to be left with all that.
Yeah.
And I said, and I know it's pretty good up there.
Right.
And up there, down there, out there, whatever way you want to say it. To me, it gives me a great joy for life here to know that this is a wonderful journey that we're already on.
Yeah.
And we'll have our time when it's our time to cross over.
Right.
But for now, it helps us make the most of what we have now.
Right. That's what I came away with too, Deb, was not so much that it was about, this death experience, that it was really about the living that we have left to do.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, you've always been a very vibrant person in the entire time I've known you, so I can't imagine that it's amped you up even more. This is wonderful. I can believe it. Okay, I believe it now. Tell us, what happened after this? How did this start changing your day-to-day life?
Right. Well, it just made the connections that I had, which was really nothing new. Like I said earlier, that I have been having experiences with dead people for 30 years, but it just turned it up even more. And also just gave me that sense of access, that, oh, I can call on these people even more and hang out with them and bring them forward into not only my life, but to share with other people, which is what I've always just done. Like, whatever I'm discovering and exploring, I'm just happy to share that with other people if it's in service to their journey and of interest. It really just brought it all a little bit more in the forefront, where it wasn't something that was just like happening to me behind the closed doors, that, I could really have conversations with my family and my mom, and then that sparked the curiosity of, this isn't just for me, that you can have these experiences too.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I find some of the experiences that we go through, it's harder sometimes for the people closest to us to actually believe us or relate. But yet a total stranger or someone that you'll meet through a class or something else will very much resonate with it. You realize that these experiences, it is cool to share them because other people go, oh, I thought when I went through something similar, it was just me having a dream or just me making it up. So it's nice for folks to bond this way. That's one of the reasons why I started this podcast. We all have these things available to us. We all have these experiences, and it's just so cool to hear about them. Spirit never lets me down, ever, ever, ever. And I get to hear Kelley's cool experiences. Did you have another experience past this dead person parade?
I did. And it was, so I've never shared this, and I've never shared it for a specific reason, and because my mom would really worry. So Mom, I've alluded to it, but here we go. And so it was different. It was different in it was more of like an intervention, and being in a situation that was very unlikely that I would ever survive. But there was that angel intervention. And so what happened was my husband and I were out west and we were in the Grand Canyon. We were touring around the Grand Canyon and Zion and Bryce on a motorcycle and having the time of our lives. I felt fine. I was happy. And I call every time we ride on a motorcycle, I call in my angels. I call in my dead friends. I call in God, come be with us, come celebrate with us, come protect us. And I specifically call on Jeff's dad, who has passed. He was a biker. Jeff has his vest, and I always call on him because I know he would just love what we're doing, that we're out there on our bike. And so I call him all the time. And this particular day, I was definitely like, oh gosh, like you would love this. You would love to be here. Come and be with us on this ride. So when, midday, I all of a sudden out of nowhere was like, ooh, I don't feel well. And we were on a canyon and here's the drop off. We're on a motorcycle going, 60, however fast on a canyon road. And I was like, I don't feel good. And I said to Jeff, I was like, I need you to pull over. And he's like, okay. There's nowhere to pull over. And, I can see that he's searching for that place to pull over. And I had one last second to say, I need to pull over now. And I woke up in his arms on the side of the canyon. So Jeff was able to see that I passed out on the back of a motorcycle going 60, 70 miles an hour, hold me, do whatever you do on a motorcycle. I'm just the passenger, to downshift with one arm holding your wife and get to the side of the road. So when I woke up, I was in his arms on the side of the canyon. And, I woke up and he said, you passed out. And I was like, I'm okay. And he's like, I'm not.
Poor Jeff.
And he's like, I have no idea how I was just able to get you to safety. And I said, I know exactly how. And so there was that, it was like a different kind of, near-death experience, so to say, where there's that interruption.
Right. That knowingness.
Yes.
That it took a team.
Yes.
To guide you both to safety, because you could have just easily have tipped over, which could have tipped him over, which you could have all been down you go.
Yes. I would have just fell off the back. That was Jeff's. He's like, oh, you just bouncing down the road.
Oh, my goodness. And I imagine the courage it took to get back on.
It wasn't even, it wasn't a thing. And that's the exact reason that I knew how guided and beyond earthly that it was that I was like, I'm fine. And
I don't know what you're worried about. But
right. Yeah.
Nice.
And I got back on and we kept going. Stopped for hydration and other things.
Is that what it is? You got dehydrated? Do they know of anything that happened?
It just, I don't know.
Wow.
I could speculate, and I didn't feel dehydrated. I had just had lunch, and maybe you don't know you're dehydrated until you pass out on the back of a motorcycle.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. My goodness. Kelley, that's quite a story.
Yeah.
And I look forward to one day hearing Jeff's side of that story.
Yes. He's still recovering. He's still recovering.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
I bet. Now, you mentioned invoking his dad.
Yes.
On your ride. Do you feel like Jeff's father was The one
100.
that kept him going, because I would imagine my father was also a motorcycle rider, had his Harley, and those motorcycles are challenging to operate with one hand.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that was something that would be easily done.
Yeah, there's no question that it was him. And I'm sure a team of, however many others and whoever else.
That's not the way you
Definite.
were going to go out.
Right.
What a story.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, after that happened, you must be like reflecting back on these experiences going, how weird have I gotten?
Weirder and weirder.
We love that though.
Yeah.
We love the weird. We love the different.
Yeah.
So tell us, what are you up to now? What are you working on?
Yes. So this has really, like I said, it's just kind of brought it forward to, okay, what do I do with all of this? So I've been working on a little tiny book, and it's called Games Dead People Play and How to Play Back.
Fine.
Because after sharing stories like this, and there are so many others, we'll have to have more chats about
Absolutely.
it. So many other experiences that it's the most common question people ask is, well, how do you always have these experiences? This little tiny book is games that I play with dead people. And, my team, I call them my spirit squad.
Right.
So I invite them in. So games that you can play too. And these jeans that I'm wearing, I wear them special today. This is a project called Unbroken Ties. And so these have my dad's ties sewn in as flares.
Oh, beautiful.
So mixing my love of fashion with, what's current in my life now. Jeff is he's the seamstress or
Taylor.
and I'm the designer. So I'm like,
wonderful.
So it's fun to bring him into.
Oh, that's so
this.
nice. It's a project that you can work on
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Wonderful. Kelley's husband, Jeff, is a very talented photographer as well. I think both of you, and I'm looking back over the time that I've known you, like my husband and I, you've done a little bit of everything.
Absolutely.
So I know Mark, my husband, used to go on bike rides with Jeff and working with different people, doing all kinds of stuff. And I think that's truly where life gets interesting, where you don't put limits on your experiences.
Right.
That nothing has to be in a cubicle. See where spirit flows through you, where the energy flows through you.
Absolutely.
Where can people learn about this fashion project?
Right. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's kellysimpson.co. And that might change in the future, but for now you can, it always changes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'll link it up for you.
exactly. That's
Nice.
the best place.
Nice. It's fun. Social networking is difficult for me just because I never know the changes and everything. Someone had suggested I get on TikTok, and I was there for a day, and I just
Same.
I just couldn't do it. So I'm going to blame my age on that, but who knows? Maybe I'll be on sometime. You TikTokers out there, you'll have to convince me of how to do it and why to do it. We're open to it. We'd love Rare Medium to be on TikTok, but we can only handle one thing at a time. Now, Kelley, what I do at the end of every segment with my guests is I have a segment called 10QQ, which is 10 quick questions.
Okay.
And every guest is asked and answered these questions, and it's meant to be answers without explanations.
Perfect. Love
Okay. All right. I'm going to make sure I have them here. So
Okay, I'm ready.
they ask them fairly the same way. Do you believe in the afterlife?
100%.
What was your age in the best year of your life so far?
Now.
All right.
56.
Now. We are exactly the same age.
I knew that.
There we go. I didn't remember
Pisces.
that.
A few days apart.
I am a Pisces. I'm a February Pisces.
Okay.
So
Early March.
very good. So there you go. Here we go. Pisces party right here. Who is your favorite musical artist?
Marley's. Any of them.
Where would you like to travel most?
Back roads on a motorcycle. Anywhere.
Anywhere on the back roads. Okay. What person has inspired you the most?
Mom.
If you could have an entirely different profession, what would it be?
Oh, fashion.
I think that's already part of your profession. I think
I
you're
know.
already there.
I just dial it up.
More
even
fashion.
more.
That's
Yeah.
right. More fashion.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for?
Everything. This day. Any day.
Do you love yourself?
So much.
I know the answer to that. What do you most regret?
Nothing.
In a word or two, what is your advice for your fellow humans?
Enjoy the ride.
Very nice. Enjoy the ride, folks. Well, we know we're going to have Kelley back on because I can't get enough of these stories already. Thank you so much, Kelley, for being with me. And we look forward to having you on again.
Thank you. That was fun.
Welcome to the questions and shout out portion of the show. The question I want to answer today comes from a listener who asks, at what age did I know I was a psychic? Well, I'll tell you pretty early on, because I am a lineage psychic, meaning some members of my family have similar abilities. As a small child, I was able to witness not only my mother, but also my grandmother employ their natural, intuitive, psychic abilities every day. I joke that, my grandmother had to have that sort of radar because she had so many children. My mom is the oldest of 12. It definitely would come in handy to use your extrasensory perception. When I watched my mother use her abilities, now neither did this professionally, it was just a skill that they used in their life. My mom always knew, and still always knows, when there's a disturbance in the force. I was able to watch her from the time I was maybe 8 or 9. She would pick up something, like we joke, spidey senses. She would know something was awry or something was off. She would sometimes even hear her own name, like someone was like, I got to tell her something. And little do we know, within just a few hours, we would discover what that something was. I think you could ask my mom herself how she uses her psychic abilities still every day. They definitely come in handy. For me, I first started reading other people's energy just casually for friends, etc. when I was only a teenager, when I discovered Edgar Cayce, and I read books on Edgar Cayce. He is, most of you probably know or are familiar with Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet. He founded the Association for Research and Enlightenment. I was fascinated by it, probably when I was about 15 or 16. I even named my cat in high school Casey because I was so into it. That was kind of my first understanding of delving into it, that it was actually something kind of unique and special. I still, anytime I'm flipping through the channels and I see that there's a documentary on Edgar Cayce, I'm going to stop and watch it because it's still someone I hold really close to my heart. That's a small answer to a big question, but there you go. My shout out for today, I'm going to go ahead and shout out to Edgar Cayce's Association for Research and Enlightenment, which is still going today in Virginia Beach, Virginia, run by many wonderful people who basically share his teachings and his readings through their organization. They have a large online presence, as well as offering schooling at many different levels, I believe all the way up through the university level. Go ahead and check out the Association for Research and Enlightenment at edgarcayce.org. This has been Rare Medium with Deb Snyder. Please subscribe in your favorite channel and leave any comments you'd like us to see. To learn more, visit debsnyder.com or heartglow.org.